Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Or if this is your first time, welcome. But you need to watch the first video and I'll put a link to that up in the corner. So this is the second video of a series of 3 on a subject which has become close to my heart, mental well-being. I've had a few issues over the last couple of years, mainly due to the COVID lockdowns and the impact that's had on people having to stay at home, losing contact with friends and family and such like. But also working from home as well, which has had possibly a bigger impact on me. The first video was based in Moelfre in Anglesey, Wales, whilst I was on holiday. And the first part of this second video is also set in the same place. The intention was that I was going to film absolutely everything there, get it all packaged up, nicely done, broken down into 3 videos. The first about how things were happening, the second one, this one about counselling, and the third one is the continuation of that story and where I am today. But we had a bit of a problem whilst we were recording in Moelfre for the second video. So what I'm going to do is just play the first part of that video, and then what we'll do is we'll come back into this studio and we'll bring you up to date. Basically, there was a problem with the sound. So I'll let me go and reset the scene in Anglesey, and we'll let that first part play out, and then you'll come back and join me for the conclusion of the video with a nice little surprise at the end. Not everything is doom and gloom about being on a mental well-being journey. In fact, if anything, it's about recognising the issues, getting to grips with them, and coming out of the other side. And hopefully you could tell by the smile on my face that things are getting better for me. Still a long road for me to travel down, I think, in terms of that particular journey. But certainly we're seeing some light at the end of the tunnel, and it isn't that proverbial train hurtling towards me. At least I hope it's not, but that's not how I should be talking. I know it's not, because I'm being positive about stuff. So let me cut to that video now, and you'll come back and join me a little bit later. I hope you enjoy, and more than that, I actually hope you learned something from it, maybe recognise something in yourself that's similar to what I'm going through. Don't hesitate to contact me through comments below if it does resonate with you, but let's see where we go. So enjoy the first part of this video. Thank you. Hi, we're out and about again. I've had a decent walk today. That'll be in a different video. This little section is another addition to my video on personal well-being, mental health. Different outfit, different day, clearly. The bit I was going to talk about, some of the aspects I was going to talk about was counselling, but it's an important subject, so let's get some decent footage, and let's find a decent place to do it. And I think I know just the spot, and we'll talk about counselling. So, anyway, listen, down there is where we're going, and you'll see in a moment why actually it's really nice, just very cathartic. It's beautiful in the sun. It's a shame that the sun isn't shining out today, but that doesn't matter, right? It's about finding some time, some peaceful moments, something for yourself. Time to reflect, time to think, time to just forget. Time just to forget about everything else that's going on. Stop the mind worrying, stop the mind overthinking, and do what we're programmed to do, right? We're not programmed to be 100% work. It feels that way. It feels that way quite a lot, because that takes up, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. 8, 16, 24. You work a third of your day, and you sleep a third of your day, and the extra bits are thrown in, and you don't get a lot of time to do stuff for yourself if you exceed that 8 hours a day. So here we are at the beach, where a lot of people obviously come and enjoy a little bit of solace, a little bit of quiet, and probably without realising it, some contemplation as they build little stone towers out of the pebbles from the beach. Who knows what's inspiring them to do this? Maybe it's in memory of somebody, maybe it's just the sheer hell of doing something with the stones. And who knows how long they'll be here before somebody knocks them over or the wind blows a few over and topples them down. The one that Wendy built the other day is still here. I walked past it earlier on. You could tell which one it was. But this is a really nice place. So if people are finding solace here and not realising it, but just getting some peace and quiet, then great for them. Yeah. I'm going to say a few words on counselling, but I am only going to say just a few words on counselling. The main reason for only a few words at the moment is because actually I'm very early in the stage of counselling. I've had 5 sessions so far. One is obviously an introduction. So it was at this point in the video that the batteries in my microphones decided to quit on me, gave up the ghost, and I sat there for another 20 minutes quite happily talking to the camera about counselling and how it was making me feel, and no audio was being recorded whatsoever. So how to deal with that situation when I hadn't realised it? I thought everything was absolutely in the can. So I've been racking my brains for a couple of months or so since the holiday, and here we now find ourselves just after Christmas with a little bit of time on my hands in order to put these videos together and talk to you about counselling. So might repeat something from the previous part of the video, but actually having thought about it and having had some of that precious time on my hands, having had a think about what the message here is and how much I should tell you about counselling or not, I've made a decision that actually I shouldn't tell you a lot about counselling, more that I should encourage you to try counselling if you are in a position where you're not quite sure how to deal with your own mental well-being. I have found a counsellor based here in Leeds in the UK, and she's good. She's really good at what she does. But actually, a lot of what we've gone through is me doing all the talking with the occasional searching question, if you like, from my counsellor. There are certain things through cognitive-based therapy, CBT. There are certain tools that she can, or a counsellor can help you with. There are breathing exercises, there are writing exercises, which sound quite interesting. There are simple exercises to help you start to gain some of that control back into your life. They're not instant answers. The breathing exercise actually is really good. There are times when I feel totally stressed and totally anxious about something, and that breathing exercise is designed just to give you that little bit of a break from the situation and allow your body, or your mind if you like, to reset. And that's how that breathing exercise works. So there are some really simple exercises. With my counsellor, however, we've explored the deeper side of therapy, and actually we've delved into quite a lot of my personal issues that have maybe been harbouring in my head, if that's the right phrase, for some time, rather than the more recent events. So we've explored both. We've explored recent events and we've talked about how to handle those, and that's probably where cognitive-based therapy has come into play. But the other stuff, the more deeper rooted stuff, the things that have shaped me over the years, the things that I felt sort of sat right at the back of my head, were possibly not that far back in my head and probably have affected me more than I've thought over recent years. So we got the chance to talk about those. And the one thing I will say about this, and this is where I've got to be very cautious on how much I tell you, but the one thing that I've learned from this is how to analyse things and how to understand them, and then come to a decision as to what could I have done about a certain situation, or what am I going to do about a certain situation to make it change, to make me feel more positive, and start living that glass half full life, right? If you are like me, one of the little traits that I've got is I will think the worst. If you think the worst, you're thinking at the lowest point on that scale of 0 to 100, of negativity to positivity. If you always think the worst about a situation that hasn't even happened, and then something better happens, I feel like it's we got a bit of a win there. Whereas if you sort of go in the half full range, the 50% range, and something worse happens, you then feel disappointed about it. It's not the right way to be looking at things. If you live your life glass half full, or even higher, more often, you're still going to get wins. You're still going to get more wins, but you're living a more positive life. And these are little revelations that she's helped me as my counsellor to uncover. And it is a change in mindset, but it was also a change in mindset that made me feel anxious. It was a change in mindset that made me feel depressed and fed up with life. And that became the norm. Whilst that started to take root, that became the way I was every single day, and therefore became the norm. Amplified, exacerbated by lockdown, isolated situations, not having other people to bounce off. You don't realise what you've missed from the office, the people, the situation, the option to take a break and go grab a coffee in the canteen, have a chat with somebody, go see somebody different and say, look, I've got a problem, and bounce it off somebody. But when you're working in an isolated office at home, who do I turn to, right? Yes, we've got tools, we've got Teams, we've got Zoom, we've got all of those things open to us. We can have chats, and we still do, but it isn't the same set of dynamics that we had before. You've got to also recognise that, and once you start to recognise that, you can start to take some control back. The simple things in life, the routines that you used to have, all of this counselling that I've had has helped me to realise those things. It has taken somebody to help state the bleeding obvious. It takes other people sometimes to help you realise what's right in front of you or is sat up there in your head and you already know it. So that's my encouragement is, if you are struggling with the situations that we're in today, if you feel fed up, if you feel like there is nobody to turn to, then counselling is a great option, and you should never be ashamed to admit that you need some help. It's actually a brave thing to do. It's an enormous thing to do. And trust me, it's a weight off your shoulders when you do it. I do find the counselling sessions quite difficult at times. I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about. I actually slightly feel anxious about those counselling sessions sometimes, but they are helping. And that biggest step of talking about some of the situations I've been in, how they've made me feel, and then being helped to analyse them and turn them into, well, that wasn't your fault, Russ, or you didn't have that control, or in those situations, 99% of the population would have had the same outcome. Why are you beating yourself up about it? There are so many different ways to look at things. You might get cognitive-based therapy, in which case you'll get some simple tools to help you through, and they work. If you want to go into it deeper with your counsellor, they will use other types of tools and methodologies. And I've had some really good, interesting conversations with my counsellor. And that's where I'm going to leave it. My encouragement to you, if you have anything that you feel similar to the way I've talked in this video or in the past video, do something about it. Reach out, find a counsellor. You can get them on the NHS. You can go private if you've got private medical insurance. They will help you. It is a big step. It's a brave step, but it's a good step forward. And it's helping, right? It's working for me. So what we're going to do is we are going to make another video. Video number 3 is going to be about where I am, what I'm doing, how things have changed for me, how my outlook on life is changing. The ups and the downs. I still have downs. I'm not, perfect. I'm like everybody else. But you recognise those now as being part of your normal life, and you treat and deal with them in a different way as you would before. So I expect to have down days, but I anticipate and look forward to and do have more good days. And I'm starting back with hobbies: video making, photography, cycling, keeping fit, walking, all sorts of different things. Oh, and spending money. I love doing that. Amazon, you're rich because of me, basically. So take something from this and let's finish on a high. The next video will come out soon, but let's finish this video on a high. I told you that I made this video, or started to make this video, in Wales, and I had a load of video footage. I was going to make some different videos about walks, different walks in Wales. Some of them worked out, some of them didn't, but here's a snippet just to give you an idea and finish on a high, finish on a positive as to how good my holiday in Anglesey, Wales was, whilst I was trying to make some of these videos as well. So if you haven't learnt anything or got the message from this video yet, if you're having problems, mental health problems, seek counselling. I promise you it's well worth it. Okay? Right, until next time, enjoy the rest of this little video and the little montage that I put together of my time in Wales. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.